Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome to another edition of What's in the Bag, Jay? This is a segment where I pick 6 movies from my collection that I haven't seen, write their names on a piece of paper, throw them in a bag, draw one out at random, and do a short review. Now, after, I roll my Freddy vs. Jason die, and that'll pick the number of movies that come back next week. And last week I rolled a 5, so returning, Never Cry Werewolf, Stripperland, The School, The Last Lovecraft, Relic of Cthulhu, Death Day, and making its debut, The Beast of Exmoor. Now I'm going to throw these in the bag like I normally do, while I tell you that if to vote for the movie that you want to see back next week, and I'll take it under consideration. Now we're going to give the bag a good tussle. And see what we got. We have Death Day. Very cool. So now I'm going to take Death Day and set it aside while I put all the movies side by side by side, of course. And take my Freddy vs. Jason die, throw it in my cup. And let's see what we roll this week. We rolled a 4. Well, that's different. So now I'm going to pick 4 names out of the bag. The Last Lovecraft, The School, The Beast of Exmoor, and finally, Stripperland. Those will be the ones returning next week. Never Cry Werewolf goes back in the pile. Maybe I'll review that some other time. But now, I'm going to come back with a review for Death Day later. Well, I'm back. I just watched Death Day, and here are my thoughts. Death Day is a 2018 film, which runs approximately 85 minutes, and is directed by Jay Horton, also known as Jason Horton. He was responsible for Monsters in the Woods and Trap. Now this has a completely different name that it goes by. It's known as The Campus, which I do not understand at all. Doesn't make any sense. Maybe that's why they scrapped that name. Now, Death Day stars Rachel Amanda Bryant as Morgan. She was in MFA and Scratch. Britt Sheraton as Natalie. She was in Dreamer and a movie called Bro. And Scott Mansili as Jeffrey. He's done a ton of voice work. He was the voice for Robin in Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go. He did the voices for Frozen, some of them, and some of the voices for Hotel Transylvania. But the more I looked, the more I could find that he had done stuff. He did stuff for Batman Beyond, Young Justice, stuff like that. Now this was made for $50,000, and special effects artist Robert Bravo made more than 26 gallons of fake blood. None were left over by the end of the shoot. Thought that was pretty interesting. Dave, you'll like that one. Now this in a nutshell. This is about a girl named Morgan who was going to her father's funeral after being kicked out of the house years prior and being disowned by her dad. Her dad was an archaeologist who went looking for all kinds of artifacts and stuff. He'd actually come across an artifact that belonged to the devil. And with that, you had to make a deal with the devil, and you had 5 pieces of your soul, which you had to take one by one. Now, when she went to her father's funeral, she was, still upset with him, kind of came back as a last-ditch effort. And after seeing her sister, she decided to break into her father's, where he keeps his artifacts, and see what she could find to take to Vegas in order to, I guess, steal some of the stuff that he had. She finds this artifact of the devil, accidentally spills her blood on it, and now the 5 pieces of the soul that he needs to steal are hers. And it's done in a loop, much like Happy Death Day, much like Groundhog Day. Basically, if she's killed, it starts over, and she has to try to survive again. This, I absolutely love the concept. I love the fact that they try to do something a little bit different with the whole Groundhog Day and Happy Death Day to You, although it was kind of following the same thing, but, a little bit different from the 5 pieces of the soul. The execution, on the other hand, was pretty poor. The acting was okay. The special effects were okay. But I just couldn't really get into it. I don't know what it is about this movie. I do plan on giving it another shot one day, because it seemed to mesh a lot of different things together. And as an example of that, the first time she tries to survive the loop, it was basically like a slasher or a home invasion sort of thing. The second time was everything was backwards. The third time was zombies. So they tried to fit a bunch of different types of genres of film into one, but it didn't kind of work. Unfortunately, it rested, there's Morgan right there, the whole performance rested on her. And I don't really think she had the goods to back it up. I mean, don't get me wrong, the acting was okay. Like I said, the special effects were okay. The makeup for the devil was pretty darn cool. My suggestion is, it gives you, if you watch a trailer, it gives you a little bit of an idea of what you're in for if you decide to buy this. Yeah. The story behind this, and I don't know if I told this yet, but I'll tell it again if I didn't. This was supposed to be $10. I did not know that. I found it in the $5 bin at Walmart, and I picked it up, and I gave it to the girl, and because my wife had said something like, it says $10 on there, which I didn't notice. And I gave it to her. I said, this is in the $5 bin, and it says $10. Is it $5? Is it $10? And she just basically kind of took it from me, acted like she didn't want to do her job. And apparently she threw it back in the same bin. So the following week when I came in, it was in the same bin. I picked it out, and I took it to somebody different. And I said, look, this needs to stay out of the $5 bin, because if I find it in there one more time, I'm going to insist that you give it to me for $5. Because I gave it to the girl last time and she didn't do her job. And he said, well, I'll just give it to you for $5 now. Young kid. Really nice. So he gave it to me for $5. And this was supposed to be $10 because this is a fairly new movie. I can't help feeling that I wasted $5. And that's pretty bad since I got it for a discount. So that gives you any idea of what I thought of it. But I am going to revisit it sometime, and we'll see if it fares any better. So, So definitely vote for it. Well, there was only one that didn't make it. That was Never Cry Werewolf. If you guys want to see that one, definitely vote for it, and I'll take it under consideration. If not, we'll just have some New Blood next week. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.